Good morning and welcome back to Bald Feather Bets, everyone. Quick recap of Friday where we played 2 games, split. Then give you our picks for today, College Ball Saturday. But please, first, make sure you subscribe to the channel, notifications on so you know when we post up until kickoff. Today's about an hour and a half before kickoff. And then just give the video some love, interact with the content, like, share, comment. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on everything. So yesterday, Friday, 2 games that we were in monitor mode all week that went into play category very late. I was pretty surprised actually on both of them. Well, I wasn't as surprised on the North Carolina one. I was pretty surprised the Rice one went into play, which I guess there's a reason I was surprised because the Rice one was the one that lost. So that was 2 units lost on Rice at plus 14. They got blitzed early, down 28-0. They couldn't tackle anything that Memphis had. And then they actually started to put a little bit of stuff together towards the end of the first half, beginning of the second half. It was 31-7. They were driving down the field, and then they had almost a comedy of errors happen that then made it 38-7. And they never really, they were going to score, about to score, and it ended with Memphis having 1st and 10 at their 30 was how the sequence of them about to score ended. So anyway, I'm not going to go through them all. It's too many things. So that one was 0-2, but then North Carolina plus the 3. And I told you guys be willing to take that one down to anything where you -1, anything where you're not laying more than 1 with North Carolina. And North Carolina won 27-10. Syracuse started a true freshman quarterback who is a lacrosse player and then a walk-on onto the football team. It is essentially, and you're going to see this more in sports, it is essentially a part of his NIL package that he's on the football team. So, sorry, God, I need coffee again like I did yesterday. And you're going to see more of that throughout sports. So we had some indication that may be happening on Wednesday. We got it confirmed Friday. That news went public. A line only really adjusted by like 1 or 1.5 points, which sometimes I don't understand some of the adjustments, and sometimes I do. That one's one I did not understand. But anyway, so then we went on that. In retrospect, probably should have hammered that one for more units, but North Carolina has just been so awful that I didn't want to get crazy on a Friday night. So anyway, 2-2 on Friday, split those. And that brings us 394 and 280 and 20 on the year. Okay, College Ball Saturday today. Some of these we've already given you. Some of these we are adding right now. Both these we've already given you, and I'm happy we did it because the news got confirmed. We gave you Texas -2 for 5 units and Texas -1 for 5 units. You can't get those numbers anymore. So if you want to play everything at once, you can go up to Texas -3 for 10 units, which if you're quick, you still may be able to get. But a lot of places are now going to 3.5. Do not go over 3 on this one. The way Vanderbilt games are limited possession games, and they lead to being close games. You're not really going to see Vandy in a blowout get blown out, just because of the way that they play. So do not go more than Texas -3, but that is a favorite play of the weekend, NFL or college football included on that one. The 2 teams, this is a horrendous matchup for Vanderbilt. It's a really, really bad matchup for them. Everything that they try to do, Texas is excellent in that area on defense. And then now that Arch is playing, so Vandy's weakness is the deep ball. And that is, even since day 1, when Arch was struggling, that's like the thing that he does best. So yeah, this is a really tough matchup. The way that Vandy can keep this one in is their pass rush versus the Texas offensive line. Vandy has a very good pass rush and a very good run defense. And that's truly the only advantage Vandy. Also, Pavia is a little banged up, and it's not like concussion clear protocol banged up, good to go. It's like physical ailments in his body. So we love Texas in this spot. I gave you guys Penn State plus 19.5 for 3 units. We're adding Penn State plus 19 for 2 more units. So that's a total of 5 units on Penn State. Again, guys, I told you yesterday, if you don't want to play it, don't play it. The play here is not Ohio State. There is no logical model that tells you that this game should be that many points if it takes into account roster talent, and especially for a conference game, it takes into account the history of the series of the conference game and what have the scores of all the other games been. You cannot lay it with Ohio State here. If you don't want to play it, back away, completely fine, understood. SMU plus 11 for 3 units against Miami. The narrative is now kind of being a little bit blown out of proportion, but it is very, very true. This is Miami's first game outside of the state of Florida this year. It's not necessarily a horrendous day in Dallas, but it's not Miami weather either. And SMU, while giving up 1 billion points on defense, should be able to score on this Miami team. But I do expect I expect Carson Beck and Tony to have a day. I probably expect Miami to get a high-scoring late-game win. I just think you're either going to get a backdoor cover or you're going to get a cover with SMU. As the year has gone on, Jennings started out a little rough. I thought maybe that game up in Penn State kind of killed him at the end of last year, but he's come back on. Lashley just signed that extension. I think there's a lot of positive momentum here for SMU. So yeah, we like them plus 11 for 3 units. Florida plus 7.5 for 5 units. I love this one too. Florida played Georgia very, very tough last year until Lagway went out. They played them tough even when Lagway went out. What Florida does really well offensively, Georgia's having difficulty defending. Florida's extremely physical at the point of attack, especially with Baugh in the run game. The game shouldn't be 7.5 points on neutral field rivalry game like this. I love Georgia. I love Kirby. They probably find a way to win it, but Florida, new energy, new life. There'll be some changes on offense from what Napier was doing, which hopefully, right, we see some of that. But this team is a lot better than their record, and still shows in most respected bookmakers' power ratings. And the game shouldn't be 7.5 points. So Florida plus 7.5, 5 units. Kansas State plus 7.5 against Texas Tech for 5 units. This is another one where everyone kind of remembers how Kansas State started off the year, and they just were like, oh, they're a bad team. Well, they've won 3 of their last 4 games. They've gotten over the Ireland hangover that happens to every team who loses out there. They match up quite well with Texas Tech in that Texas Tech is still not healthy. So we got a hobbled quarterback. We got a backup quarterback who's out for the year, who had been playing pretty well. We have injuries essentially across the whole offense. Like, there isn't really a position at Texas Tech offensively that isn't dealing with some sort of ailment. Defensively, for the most part, they're okay. But this game in Manhattan, 7.5 points, again, too many. We finally won a bet betting against Texas Tech, 2 actually. So we're looking to continue that momentum. If things start reeling here for Texas Tech injury-wise, the thing that Texas Tech is not is deep. Their star power at the front is as good as 99% of the teams in the country. There's a few that it's not as good as, like an Ohio State or something like that. But depth, Texas Tech does not have yet, because this is the first year where they got all that money infused in the program. So it wasn't like they took transfers and then backup transfers, right? Like the backups are the players who've been on the team for a while. It's the same Texas Tech you've seen the past 2-3 years. Starters are what's been the catalyst into what's happening. And now we're getting later into the season, and some of them are starting to get banged up. We're taking Cal plus 6.5 for 3 units. Virginia, I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing story. We faded him a few times. We were on him against Florida State. But it has to come to an end here at some point. The team is just not that good. They're just not. So 6.5 points with Cal, traveling to Cal. Jesus, traveling from Virginia to Cal. That's a tough spot. And I know Cal's been hit or miss and up and down, and we got our ass kicked when we were on Cal against Duke. But this is a tough spot. This is a tough spot, and we like Cal. Oklahoma plus 3.5 for 5 units. Already gave you guys that one. They should win outright. This Tennessee defense has given up like 30 some odd points to Kentucky's offense. We got an Oklahoma defense that should be able to slow down Tennessee, a Mateer who's getting healthier every single week, a run game for Oklahoma that all of a sudden has kind of found itself a little bit, semi. We like Oklahoma in this spot for sure. Nebraska plus 5 for 3 units. Sorry I didn't get you guys this one earlier in the week, and we didn't get it at 7. I just didn't quite. I thought there was a chance that this number was being bet down so it could be hammered at the lower number on USC. I was wrong in my readings, and I knew my model also said this thing should be like USC minus 4.5, right? So I should have trusted that, and I should have trusted that that's exactly how the sharps were reading it as well, and how the books were reading it as well. But I didn't, because I have this infatuation with the USC team this year. But anyway, Nebraska plus 5 for 3 units. I do like it. I don't love it, but I do like it. And then lastly, we've already given it to you. Utah minus 9.5 for 5 units. That's also one of my favorite plays on the day. Utah should blow Cincinnati out. Cincinnati has Brendan Sorsby. Utah is much better on every single unit, offense, defense, special teams, and Utah's a lot bigger, like significantly bigger in the trenches, to a point to where it will make a difference how much bigger they are. And we do see Utah being able to run the ball quite well on Cincy. That's it. We'll be back at you again tomorrow, where we pick every NFL game against the spread. But have yourself a great Saturday. Enjoy. We finally have actual football weather across the country, so that's positive. And make sure that you give the video some love, give the channel some love. Appreciate you guys very much. Let's have a day.